Have you ever felt profoundly exhausted, even after a full night's sleep? Or found yourself scrolling through social media, staring blankly at your to-do list, feeling utterly detached from the tasks that once energized you? Perhaps you've dismissed it as just stress or a tough week. But what if it's something more persistent, something deeper than temporary fatigue? Today, we're going to talk about a pervasive modern challenge: burnout. It's a term we hear often, but its true nature and the subtle ways it manifests can be surprisingly difficult to recognize in ourselves. It's not just about being tired. It's a profound state of physical, mental, and emotional depletion that sneaks up on us when prolonged stress goes unmanaged. The World Health Organization even recognizes it as an occupational phenomenon, stemming from chronic, unaddressed workplace stress. My goal today is to help you identify those overlooked signs and, crucially, to equip you with practical steps to address them. Understanding burnout begins with recognizing its core dimensions. Think of it not as a sudden breakdown, but as a gradual erosion, much like water slowly wearing down a stone. The pioneering work of researchers like Christina Maslach has helped us see it through three main lenses. First, there's a profound feeling of energy depletion or exhaustion. This isn't regular tiredness that a good weekend can fix. This is a deep, persistent fatigue that makes even simple tasks feel overwhelming, a feeling of being constantly drained, like your internal battery is always at 5%. Secondly, you might notice an increased mental distance from your job, or feelings of negativity and cynicism related to your work. Projects you once cared about now seem pointless. Colleagues you once enjoyed interacting with start to feel like burdens. It's as if a protective shield comes up, creating a barrier between you and your professional life, leading to a detached, often negative outlook. And finally, there is reduced professional efficacy. This means a decreased sense of accomplishment and a nagging feeling of self-doubt. You might start questioning your abilities, your value, and whether you're truly making an impact, even if externally you're still performing adequately. Now, it's important to differentiate burnout from ordinary stress. Stress often feels like too much, too many demands, too many deadlines, but with a potential for recovery if you gain control. Burnout, on the other hand, is characterized by not enough motivation, not enough energy, not enough hope. It leaves you feeling empty and disengaged, rather than just overwhelmed. It's a process that often intensifies over time, moving from initial high-pressure situations to chronic stress, and eventually full-blown burnout. So, how do these core dimensions translate into real-life experiences? Burnout isn't always obvious. It often develops insidiously, manifesting across your physical, emotional, and even behavioral patterns. Let's look at some of the key signs you might be ignoring. On the physical front, persistent fatigue is the hallmark. You might wake up feeling tired, and that feeling lingers throughout the day, irrespective of how much you rest. But it goes beyond that. You might find your immunity is lowered, leading to more frequent colds or minor illnesses. Headaches or muscle pain, which you might attribute to poor posture or tension, could become more common. And often there are changes in appetite or sleep habits. Perhaps you're struggling with insomnia, or maybe you find yourself overeating or undereating. These are your body's subtle alarms, signaling that something is off.
Emotionally, the signs can be equally challenging. You might experience a profound sense of failure and self-doubt, constantly questioning your capabilities. There is often a feeling of being helpless, trapped, or defeated, as if you're in a maze with no exit. That loss of motivation, once a core driver, can become overwhelming, accompanied by increasing cynicism and negativity towards things you once enjoyed. Imagine looking at your work through a gray filter. Everything just seems dull and uninspiring. A short temper and irritability, even over minor issues, can also become more frequent, straining your relationships. Behaviorally, burnout can lead to withdrawing from responsibilities, even simple ones, and isolating yourself from others. You might find yourself procrastinating more, taking far longer to complete tasks that used to be routine. Some people might turn to unhealthy coping mechanisms, using food, drugs, or alcohol to numb the feelings. And in more advanced stages, increased tardiness or even skipping work altogether can become a pattern. These behaviors aren't laziness. They're often desperate attempts to create distance from an overwhelming situation. Now, what causes this? While personal resilience plays a role, burnout is often rooted in a fundamental mismatch between you and your work environment. Work overload, a lack of control over your tasks, insufficient recognition for your efforts, or a breakdown of community and support within your workplace are major culprits. Perceived lack of fairness or a conflict between your personal values and your job's demands can also fuel the fire. And it's not always just about work. Non-work factors like caregiving responsibilities, parenting, chronic illness, or significant negative life events can also significantly exacerbate burnout, making you more vulnerable. Recognizing these signs is the crucial first step. The good news is that addressing burnout is possible, and it involves a multifaceted approach, starting with what you can do for yourself. First, prioritize self-care. This isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Adequate rest and sleep are foundational. Aim for consistent sleep patterns. Maintain good nutrition. Fuel your body properly. Engage in physical activity, even if it's just a daily walk. Movement can be incredibly restorative. And make time for hobbies, those activities that bring you joy and a sense of accomplishment outside of work. Beyond that, stress management practices can be invaluable. Incorporate mindfulness or meditation into your day, even for a few minutes. Journaling can help you process your thoughts and feelings, giving you perspective. One of the most powerful tools is setting boundaries. This means establishing clear lines between your work and your personal life. It might be simple acts like turning off work notifications after a certain hour, or consciously deciding not to check emails on weekends. Protecting your non-work time is essential to prevent overextension. Don't suffer in silence. Seeking support is vital. Talk to trusted friends, family, or colleagues who can offer an empathetic ear and perhaps a different perspective. Sometimes just articulating what you're feeling can be incredibly relieving. And if symptoms persist or start to interfere significantly with your daily functioning, please consider professional help. Consulting licensed therapists, doctors, or mental health professionals is a sign of strength, not weakness. They can provide tailored strategies and support, helping you navigate this challenging period. Organizations like Mental Health UK or BetterHelp offer excellent resources and access to professional guidance.
It's also worth noting that many forward-thinking organizations are recognizing their role in this. Companies like Google, Microsoft, and Meta are implementing flexible work arrangements, promoting psychological safety, and training managers to spot burnout and offer support. Institutes like the McKinsey Health Institute are actively working to improve employee mental health globally. This shows that the conversation is evolving and support structures are growing. Now, there are some important nuances to understand about burnout. While we've discussed it extensively, it's not classified as a medical condition by the World Health Organization. Instead, it's an occupational phenomenon linked specifically to chronic workplace stress. This is different from clinical depression, which is a broader mental health condition affecting all areas of life, though they can share some symptoms. Understanding this distinction can help reduce the stigma that might be associated with the label, ensuring you seek the right kind of support. Ultimately, understanding the signs of burnout isn't about diagnosing yourself, but about becoming more aware of your own well-being. It's about recognizing when you've been running on empty for too long, pushing yourself past sustainable limits. Burnout is a serious challenge in our fast-paced world, but it is not a permanent state. By paying attention to your physical, emotional, and behavioral cues, by setting boundaries, prioritizing self-care, and reaching out for support when you need it, you can take active steps towards recovery and prevention. Remember, your well-being is not a luxury. It is the foundation upon which everything else is built. You are not alone in experiencing these feelings, and there are pathways back to a more balanced and energized life. Take that first step today, even if it feels small. Your future self will thank you.